Hey, good afternoon, or almost noon. Yeah, it's afternoon, 12:30 my time. It's Patricia Daker with Dealing with Your Diabetes, and just hopping on to talk a little bit. And I wasn't really sure what I wanted to talk about, so we're gonna go kind of cray-cray and roll the dice. How about that? My core teaching programs are around four pillars of content that I provide, and five pillars. Gosh, what am I thinking? Five. And then since the dice has a six, we'll have like a grab bag wild card, and who knows what I'll come up with. But so if we go through my core functionality, it is all about diabetes education, which I believe is foundational. And I believe that there's really a lot of that content out there in the marketplace and in the healthcare systems today. Two is all about your emotions. Three is about motivation, what makes you decide to do whatever you decide to do. Four is ownership. So how do you, sorry dog, that's Poncho. How do you decide, what you're going to do and what you own and what you're responsible for? And then five is communication. And everything you do in diabetes involves communication, whether it's your body communicating to you. And I am so sorry about Poncho. Hey, Poncho, come here. He thinks somebody's outside. Sorry. Anyway, never mind the dog. So those are my five pillars, and it really, most of my practice focuses on the psychosocial aspect of diabetes, or the day-to-day, day-in, day-out relationships, the difficulty, the burden, the emotional side, not really the body and the blood sugar side. I feel like that's pretty much covered, but it's this other part of living your life that I really focus on. I'm getting all kinds of beeps and things all over here. Turn that off. Okay, so let's roll the dice. So I have number one is going to be education. Number two is going to be emotions. Three is motivation. Four is ownership. Five is communication. And if we get a six, it's grab bag, everything else. And I have a couple things that we'll think about. So here we go. Ready? Okay, roll the dice, and you can't see it. Oh gosh, it's six. Show you. So six, everything else. So we'll blow off all the other fun stuff. What I was thinking I would talk to you about today, and I don't know how I'll show it to you. I'll have to tag it in the notes. You would think I'm being invaded right now, right? So sorry. But there's nobody outside either. Just barking dog. Let's talk about something I did. So I belong to a lot of Facebook groups that are unique to people with diabetes. So if you don't have diabetes, you can't be in them. And so there's several that I post in and I watch and I participate. And so last week, I guess, I posted a note, and it was like, if you could have one word to describe your relationship to diabetes, what would it be? And I had over 500 people comment on what their word would be. And so I'm getting ready to do a blog post on it. So I'm doing some analysis of the word, and their words were overwhelmingly negative, which I'm not surprised, because it's a struggle, it's a burden. So my question and my query on that topic is, are the people who are struggling the most likely to want their voices heard, right? Are they the ones who are going to respond to a question like that? Don't know. We'll have to maybe do a follow-up question, but it's interesting to me because one of the things I feel like when you have diabetes, you kind of lose your voice, because there are doctors speaking for you, their family speaking for you. You have these shoulds that you should do, and not always what you want to do. So I feel like sometimes you lose your voice. So it's interesting to me, like, is social media just a great place for people who feel unheard or unrecognized or unvalidated? Is it just a great place for them to, go off a little bit and share some of their frustration? Of the 500 words, I think there were only about maybe 20 that were positive. So there were some people that are pretty much dealing with it. They're happy. It's part of their life. And they kind of, I would say they're more like where I am, not where I used to be, but where I'm at now. So I'm going through these words. I'm going to kind of condense them down and trying to find some synonyms to kind of come up with a picto, like an infographic sort of thing, just to show what people who feel like posting about diabetes might say. Again, it's not a survey that's scientific or anything. People just responded. So again, a lot of struggle, which validates my feelings, my history, my past. And it also makes me hopeful that I can help these folks. So people that are struggling, that hate it, that feel unheard, that feel victimized. Victim was a big word, or derivatives of victim. There was a lot of hate. There was a lot of cuss words that I'm not going to say. I'll put them on there. But anyway, it was really pretty interesting. So I'm going to post on this video a copy of the little, I took all those words and I put them in an online program to make a little word art. So a little diabetes man of diabetes words about your relationship with diabetes. So not necessarily diabetes, but the relationship